All right, how's everyone doing tonight? All right, tonight we are picking up where we left off in our Fate Stay Night Remastered playthrough. This is going to be the first time Shirou has returned to school since he summoned Saber. So there's a couple things that could go wrong here. Could go wrong here. You know, I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. I know I keep referencing some of the other routes and the other anime adaptations, but I've never actually played the original game. So this is my first exposure to the actual literal Fate routes. Oh, hold on. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be so. Yeah, this is my first exposure to the proper Fate route. I mean, I've seen all three of the anime adaptations, and the original anime is primarily focused on the Fate route. But I know it incorporates a lot of elements from the other two routes as well. So I'm not sure. So I'm not entirely sure what's changed and what's different. I know some of the changes, and but not all of them. So yeah. So this has pretty much been a blind run through for me. So anyway, let's see how it goes. I feel the warm glow of the sun. I wake up, my head hazy to the sensation of cold air on my cheek. Must be a draft. Huh? I'm in the shed. I get up and shake my head 2-3 times in an effort to wake myself. Oh, right. I just fell asleep like this. After my nightly routine, training to fortify my senses, I must have been too lazy to go back to my room. From how light it is, it must be just before 6. Crud, I need to get breakfast ready. I fold my blanket up, pick up all the broken shards from my failed strengthening attempts last night, and head back to the house to wash my face. So cold. The moment I step outside, I realize just how chilly it is out. Miyama is typically warm, even in the winter, but the temps here on the mountainside get chilly. And I wash my face with ice-cold tap water, which finally gets my mind going. All right, I'm completely awake now. Once my mind's woken up, all the things I'd rather not be thinking about, like my current situation, come rushing back. Oh, right. I don't have time to putter around washing my face. The time is 5:55. There's a ton to do, but first I need to head back to my room and check on Saber. Yeah, I did leave my room without telling her. I should at least explain myself. I wouldn't want to upset Saber. Going to the shed in the middle of the night is a ritual for me, so I'm sure she'll understand as long as I explain myself. Once I talk to Saber, then I should start making breakfast. Tosaka said she doesn't eat breakfast, so I just need to make extra for Saber. Oh, I should go buy more ingredients now that I'll be cooking for more people. I should write that down before I forget. Forget? Huh. I have this nagging feeling that I'm forgetting something really important. Oh, crud! It's already 6! I need to hurry or I won't make it! Well, if I can't remember what it is, it's probably not important. I can think of a couple things that might be really important for this. I slowly open the door. The room is just as I left it. There's no sign of Saber waking up in the middle of the night and searching my room. It doesn't seem like she noticed I snuck out. Well, that's a letdown. I thought Saber would have noticed. Unless she was just in that deep of a sleep because she requires a lot of rest. Oh, right. Maybe that's what she meant when she said she needs to sleep often. And she's sleeping as close to me as possible so she can rush right over if something does happen. Whatever the case, it shouldn't make much of a difference as long as I'm in the compound. The bounded field would detect any enemy. The bounded field would detect any enemy intruders. I should be able to defend myself for at least a moment, which should give Saber enough time to get to me. Yeah, and the shed has plenty of places for me to hide. Anyway, I don't think I'll get scolded for what I did last night. I thought I would explain myself to Saber, but that doesn't seem to be necessary now. Besides, I'd hate to wake her up if she's still sleeping. Saber, I'm going to prepare breakfast. I'll make some for you too, but you don't need to get up if you're still sleepy. I'll come back, so keep resting if you need to. After speaking so softly to her, I head out to my room as quietly as I can. There's nobody in the living room. I open the refrigerator and plan out what I can make for breakfast. And then...
おはよう。朝早いのね、あんた。
Tosaka walks in, looking obviously cranky. Okay, that makes 3 important things that you should probably remember. Tosaka? What's going on? Did something happen?
別に。朝はいつもこんなだから気にしないで。
Tosaka staggers through the living room like a drunken ghost. Hey, are you okay? Your eyes don't look right.
だから気にしないでって言ってるでしょ。顔でも洗えば目が覚めるわ。ここからだとどう行くんだっけ？脱衣所って。
Take that hallway. If you're just going to wash your face, there's a washroom in the hallway near the entrance.
ああ、そういえばあったわね、そんなのが。
I don't know how much she heard, but Tosaka just waves a hand and walks away. And then the doorbell rings, announcing guest's arrival.
シロー、誰か来たけど。
I hear Tosaka's voice from the hallway. Oh, don't worry about it. The only people who ever come over at this hour are family. It's got to be Sakura. She has a spare key, so I don't need to go to the door. Honestly, I keep telling Sakura she doesn't need to ring the bell. Sakura's like family, so she can just come in without bothering about the doorbell. But she's always polite enough to ring the doorbell to let me know she's here. I think that's one of the good things about Sakura. But one of these days she's going to wear herself out from politeness. Hold on. Sakura is here. Crud! I run through the hallway. Being angry at my own stupidity is going to have to wait. Right now, I need to rush to the entrance and send Sakura home before she runs into Tosaka. But it's too late. At the entrance, Tosaka is greeting the guest, even though I didn't ask her to, and Sakura looks surprised. Sakura stands at the entrance and Tosaka is in the hallway. The two of them are staring at each other, the air growing tense.
おはよう、マトさん。こんなところで顔を合わせるなんて意外だった？
Tosaka looms in the doorway, appearing to look down at Sakura.
トサカ、先輩。
Sakura is utterly bewildered. She looks up at Tosaka, fear in her eyes. This is bad. I can't manage to get a word out. The two of them ignore me as they continue to stare at each other. There's no room for me to butt in here. The only thing I can do right now is try to think of how to explain this situation to Sakura, but before I can come up with a good excuse.
先輩、これはどういう？
Sakura looks over to me, almost begging for help. Yeah, it's kind of a long story.
長くならないわよ。単に私がここに下宿することになっただけだもの。
Not helping! Tosaka's response is extraordinarily blunt. She just cuts me off and gets right to the point.
先輩、本当なんですか？
The short answer is yes. Things happened, and now Tosaka is going to be staying here for a while. Sorry for not telling you this earlier, and sorry you got blindsided first thing in the morning.
謝らないでください先輩。確かに驚きましたけど、そんなのはいいんです。それより今の話。ええ、これは私とシローで決めたことよ。家主であるシローが同意したんだから、もう決定事項なの。この意味わかるでしょ、麻藤さん。わかるって何かですか？今までシローの世話をしていたみたいだけど、しばらくは必要ないってことよ。来られても迷惑だし、来ない方があなたのためだし。
Sakura looks down and falls silent. And after a chilling silence...
わかりません。はい？私には東坂先輩のおっしゃることがわからないと言いました。ちょっとさくら、あんた。
Why do I suddenly feel like a rag doll between two warring sisters? Oh, right.
お邪魔します先輩。お台所お借りしますね。
Sakura bows to me and walks into the house. She heads towards the living room, heading right past Tosaka and flatly ignoring her. Tosaka just stands there, aghast. I'm no different. I've never seen Sakura act like that, and I don't know what to say. Well, that comes as a surprise, but it isn't the only one. Hey, Tosaka, how did you know Sakura always came to my house? I never told you she came by to help me out with housework.
ああ、それなら前にちょっと小耳に挟んだだけよ。ただの偶然。それより驚いたわ。あの子、ここじゃあんなに元気なの？学校とじゃ大違いじゃない。
Tosaka must be really surprised given how annoyed she sounds. Which means Tosaka knows Sakura pretty well at school. Sakura seems to know Tosaka too. The two of them appear to have a good senior and underclassmen relationship I was unaware of. But that aside, actually, I'm surprised too. I've never seen Sakura so snappy before. Sakura's no different here than when she's at school. I'd say what we just saw was out of the ordinary.
そうなんだ。まずったわね。Sakuraがあんなに孤児だとは知らなかったわ。こうなるんならシローの口から説明させればよかった。
Obviously. Compared to Tosaka's merciless explanation, I would have handled that a lot better. But what's done is done. And what do you mean? What do you mean this is bad?
そりゃまずいでしょう。これからこの家は戦場になるかもしれないのよ。だから私たち以外の人間を寄せつけないようにってさくらをたしなめたのに、あれじゃあ逆に追い出すのが難しくなったじゃない。
That was you being harsh? I thought you were just bullying her.
そこ、なんかつまんないこと言った今。
I was just being honest. But what should we do about Sakura? At this point, she's not going to leave easily.
そんなのなんとかするしかないでしょう。で、さくらが来るのは朝だけ？それとも夕食もこき使ってるの？
Stop trying to make it sound bad. Yes, she comes every morning, but not as often as for dinner.
そう。それじゃあこれからは毎日になりそうね。
Huh? Every night? For what? As I tilt my head in confusion, Tosaka sighs in disbelief. Soon after, Tosaka remains in the living room while Sakura begins preparing breakfast in silence. I was a little worried about leaving Tosaka and Sakura alone in the same room, but I'm not stupid enough to forget about Saber. It seems like Sakura is mad about Tosaka being here, so things will just get worse if Saber comes out too. which is why I decided to explain the situation to Saber. So there you have it. Sakura. Oh, the girl who's here is named Sakura, but she's an ordinary girl, not a mage or anything, so we can't have her getting dragged into the Holy Grail War. If possible, I'd like her to stay away from the house for a while without ever knowing why. What the heck? I didn't come here to consult her on how to get Sakura away from here. Anyway, Sakura's acting real strange this morning. Tosaka's the reason, but I don't want to upset her even more. Well, you see, Sakura's surprised because some stranger's here, so she'll get even angrier if she sees you here. Am I being rude or something, Saber?
いいえ、シロウの言いたいことはわかります。つまり、私はここで待機していればいいのですね。
Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. I'll come back for you right after I see Sakura off, so you can eat breakfast then. Saber nods quietly. I'm so glad Saber is so understanding. Okay. I'm worried about what's happening in the living room, so I should hurry back.
シロウ。
What's up, Saber?
はい。そのようなことを私に説明する必要はありませんが、もう少し落ち着くべきです。先ほどからシロウの言動は破綻しているかと。
Am I panicked?
とても。今に戻るのでしたら、その前に気を落ち着けることです。
Saber's advice is given in her usual tone. And breakfast begins as usual, like nothing happened.
どうぞ先輩。遠坂先輩もいかがですか？
Sakura hands me a bowl of rice. She's acting like her usual self. I don't know what happened while I was gone, but the tension between the two seems to have dissipated. At least, on the surface.
じゃあ、お言葉に甘えて。
Tosaka hesitates a little before accepting a rice bowl. Sakura smiles as she puts bowls of miso soup, egg omelet, and other dishes on the table. Tosaka watches the table filling up, looking utterly flummoxed. Tosaka, I thought you didn't eat breakfast.
用意されたものは食べるわ。当然の礼儀でしょ、それって。
Well, as long as you're okay with it, then let's eat. And sorry I made you get everything ready, Sakura.
いえ、これが私の仕事ですから気にしないでください。じゃあ、まったくいい身分だこと。後輩に朝食作らせるなんてどこの王侯貴族なんだか。まあそれはおいおい問い詰めるとして。いただきます。
The three of us bow politely and begin breakfast. Dang, nobody's talking. I guess the mood isn't that tense. Our breakfasts are usually pretty light on conversation. Sakura and I aren't really all that talkative, so it's no shock meals are so quiet. But why does breakfast feel so chaotic every day? Wait a minute. I get another nagging feeling.
先輩、お魚の味付け濃かったですか？
That's not it. I just have this bad feeling I'm forgetting something. What could it be? I try to convince myself that it's probably not important because I can't remember, but I feel like that's a terrible mistake, especially since that didn't work out for me too well last time I tried to ignore it. I'm gripped by the sense of dread, like I'm ignoring a fatal disease or something. Oh well, I bet it's not that big of a deal. I try to just shovel the thoughts from my mind as I go back to eating. Just then...
おはよう。いやー、寝坊しちゃった。
Fujine comes bursting in. I forgot. How could I have forgotten this? I guess I tried to just forget my problems rather than deal with them.
シロウ、ご飯。
Fujine situates herself in her normal spot.
おはようございます、藤村先生。
The two greet her in unison.
はい、どうぞ先生。大したものではありませんけど、召し上がってください。
Sakura hands her a rice bowl with her usual smile. Fujine takes the bowl and tilts her head in confusion. She senses something strange, but doesn't know exactly what it is. Fujine quietly chews her food, and after finishing a whole bowl of rice, she leans over to whisper in my ear.
ねえシロどうして遠坂さんがいるの？
She's going to stay here for a little while starting today. I stick to the facts.
あ、そうなの。遠坂さんも変わったことするのね。
Yeah, she's a strange one. The way she is at school, she's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
そっか。今日からここに下宿するのか。
Fujine seems to accept this and take a big gulp of her miso soup. 3, 2, 1.
下宿って何よシロ！
Screen capping this. The table suddenly flips violently. Luckily, Sakura is sitting out of the path of the flying food while Tosaka had already moved away, apparently predicting what was about to happen. So, I'm the only one who ended up splattered. Ow, that's hot! What the heck, Fujine? Don't you realize there's hot miso soup, piping hot rice, and scorching meatballs in a pot? You'd burn me if you spilled those on me. Hey, why are we having food from a hot pot for breakfast anyway?
うるさーい！あんたこそ何考えてるのよシロ！同い年の女の子を下宿させるなんてどこのラブコメだい！私はそんなタチの悪い冗談じゃ笑ってやらないんだから！
I wasn't trying to make you laugh, and ow, this really stinks. I'm actually getting burned here. Sakura, get me a towel.
はい、冷やしたタオルでしたら用意しておきました先輩。
Why do you look like you're enjoying this? Thanks. Whoa, I just found a chicken meatball in my shirt, and it's freaking hot!
タオルは後！そんなことより申し開きしなさいシロ！あんた本気でそんなこと言ってるの？
Of course not. You know I don't like to kid around about things like this, right? Anyway, Tosaka's staying here. Complain all you want, but it's already been decided, so there's not much point.
そんなの大却下！何のつもりか知らないけどダメに決まってるでしょ！同い年の女の子と一緒に暮らすなんてそんなのお姉ちゃん許しません！
Fujine roars. Well, that went about how I expected. Fujine is my guardian, and she's also a school teacher. I don't think I'm getting out of this situation with 100 whacks from a wooden sword, or even 100 cuts from a real one. But unfortunately, I have to find a way to live with this. Can you just let this go? I'm not doing anything wrong, and Tosaka and I aren't in that kind of relationship. It's just, we kind of ended up in this situation by accident, and I'm letting you use one of the rooms here for now.
うるさーい！ダメなものはダメなの！私は下宿なんて許しません！遠坂さんの事情は知らないけどちゃっちゃと帰ってもらいなさい！
She's not even willing to listen. This is bad. I guess she's not as easy to convince as I thought.
先生、下宿は許しませんとおっしゃいますけど、私はすでに一泊してしまったのですが。
Not helping! Tosaka is so casual about how she puts it. Her words seem to be like the cold water dumped over Fujine's head.
ですから昨日止めさせていただいたんです。いえ、正確には土曜の夜からお邪魔していますから2泊でした。今は別棟の客間を借りて荷物も運んであります。どうでしょう先生、客観的に見て私はもう下宿している状況なのですが。
The color drains from Fujine's face.
シロ、あんたなんてことするのよ！こんなことキリツグさんが知ったらどうなるか分かってるの？
What would you have thought? My old man would have definitely been happy about it. Something about a man's worth or whatever.
同感。桐次さん、女の子にはとことん甘い人だったからな。そっか、それが遺伝してるんでしょ、シローのバカ。
Fujine grabs my collar and shakes me. Well, my old man did always teach me to protect girls. I'm not as chivalrous as my old man was, but I still agree. Even so.
何？助け舟出してほしいの？
Guys have been pretty rough, though. Because of my chivalrous upbringing, I do have to keep in mind that, cold-hearted as she is, Reen is still a girl. I beg of you, I can't get out of this myself. I need your silver tongue here. I nod in Tosaka's direction while Fujine shakes me.
オッケー。それじゃあサクッと解決しますか。藤村先生、エミヤ君を振っても出るのは悲鳴だけですから、そのあたりでやめてあげてください。それに下手をすると朝ごはんまで出てきかねません。
何よ東坂さん、そんな真面目な顔したって怖くないんだから。教師として、何より四郎の教育係として東坂さんの下宿は認めません。
Fujine takes her hands off me and turns towards Tosaka. It must be her feral instincts kicking in. She must have thought Tosaka would pounce on her if she kept her full attention on me.
それはなぜでしょうか。うちの学校には下宿している生徒も少なくありません。生徒の自主性を伸ばすのが我が校の方針ではありませんでしたか？
何よ、難しいこと言ったってダメなんだから。大体ですね、こんなところに下宿したって自主性なんて芽生えません。ご飯は勝手に出てくる、いつも綺麗、お風呂は勝手に沸いてるっていう夢のようなお家なんだから。こんなところに居候してたら堕落しきっちゃうわよ東坂さん。
Fujine, that hardly seems appropriate coming from a teacher.
それにね、原則として下宿していい生徒は家が遠い生徒だけよ。東坂さんのお家、確かにここより遠いけど登校できない場所じゃないでしょう。さくらちゃんだってあっちから通ってるんだから、下宿する必要なんてありません。
それが今うちは全面的な改装を行っているんです。古い建物ですからそこかしこにガタが来てしまっていて、改装が終わるまではホテルで暮らそうと考えていたのですが、偶然通りかかってエミヤ君に相談したところ、それはお金がもったいないからうちを使えばいいと言ってくれたんです。
それは確かに白っぽい発言ね。
はい、あまり面識のないエミヤ君からの提案には驚いたのですが、確かにホテル暮らしなんてもったいないし、何より学生らしくありません。それなら学友であるエミヤ君のお家にご厄介になった方が勉強になると思ったのです。
Fujine groans. Tosaka's answer and mannerisms are textbook. There's no room for Fujine, teacher that she is, to object.
話は分かりましたけど、それでも問題はあるでしょう。東坂さんと四郎は女の子と男の子なんだから、一つ屋根の下で暮らすというのはどうかと思うわ。
どうかとはどんなことでしょうか、先生。
だからね、東坂さん美人だし、四郎もなんだかんだって男の子だし、間違いがあったら嫌だなって。
何も間違いはありません。私の部屋は別棟の隅、エミヤ君の部屋は蔵の近くにある和室です。距離にしてみれば20メートル以上離れているじゃないですか。ここまで離れ、
別棟には鍵もかかるし、違う家みたいなものだけど。
でしょ？それとも藤村先生はエミヤ君を信用していないとでも？先ほど先生はエミヤ君の教育係だとおっしゃいました。ならエミヤ君がどのような性格かは私より藤村先生の方がご存知だと思います。 彼がそのような間違いを犯すというのでしたら、私も下宿先には選びませんが。
失礼ね。シローはちゃんとしてるもん。絶対女の子を泣かせるような子じゃないんだから。
なら安心でしょ。私もエミヤ君を信用していますから。ここなら安心して下宿できると思ったのです。
Fujine starts losing steam. Check and meet Tosaka. There are a few things Fujine could have responded to, but I'm sure Tosaka would have had no trouble talking her way out of them. Anyway, it looks like Tosaka has officially gained citizenship in this house. And then breakfast ends. As expected, Fujine gave up after Tosaka talked her down. In the end, we agreed to keep our living arrangements a secret at school, while Fujine would supervise us at home. With that decided, Fujine got really excited knowing that there were going to be more people in the house, and she left for school in a good mood. After breakfast ended, I called out to Saber before I leave for school. Saber, calm as always, says,
学校ではリンの指示に従うように。危険が迫った時は私を必要としてください。それでマスターの異常は感じ取れますから。
She returns to her room. It's time to go to school.
それじゃあ行きましょうか。この辺りの道は不慣れなんだから、学校までの近道ぐらい教えてよね。
Rin Tosaka is in her school uniform, standing next to me. My image of her as an honor student is fading, but she still makes me nervous when I see her in her school uniform. Just going to school with the prettiest girl is nerve-wracking enough, but on top of that...
先輩、戸締まりできました。
Sakura's coming with me too. Sakura typically goes to school with Fujine because she's a member of the Kyoto Club. But this morning, Sakura stayed put in the living room, helped clean up after breakfast, and waited for me to go to school.
何？さくらに鍵持たせてるの？シロってば。
I did. Sakura's never done anything bad, and she's been a big help to me all this time. So with all that in mind, I can't give you a spare key, but that won't bother you, right?
それは構わないけど、どういう意味よそれ。
You do bad stuff. You probably don't even need a key anyway. I'm not foolish enough to make something so unnecessary.
はあ、そうですか。ええ、シロの言う通り、これっぽっちもいらないわよ、そんなもの。
Tosaka turns her head, huffing. Maybe I'm just getting used to her, but I'm starting to find these mannerisms of hers fascinating. Huh? What's wrong, Sakura? If you're done locking up, let's go. We've got Tosaka this morning too, so I want to get to school as early as possible.
はい、そうですね。先輩がそう言うのなら、そうします。
Sakura's reply is pretty unenthusiastic, and she trails behind us. This isn't good. Sakura has seemed down ever since Tosaka convinced Fujine to back off. Fujine might have consented, but I have a feeling Sakura isn't convinced. I probably need to talk to her. Yeah, I should find a way to give these two time to get along and be friends. The slope road is packed with students. It's 7:30, which is the busiest time for students getting to school. Among the flock of students, I stand out, and I can feel everyone stare since I'm in pretty famous company. Maybe she forgot something, but Tosaka's been quiet the entire time. What's wrong, Tosaka? You've been acting weird ever since we reached the hill.
やっぱり変？今朝の私。
No, you're not odd, but your behavior is.
先輩、その説明は矛盾してます。遠坂先輩が聞いているのはそういうことじゃないと思いますけど。
Huh? Then what was Tosaka asking?
ですから遠坂先輩は周りから見られているからどこか自分の姿がおかしいのではと思ってるんですよね。そうだけど、やっぱりさくらから見ても変？おかしいな。今朝は眠いながらもちゃんとブローしたし、制服だってシワ一つないと思うんだけど、やっぱり慣れない家で寝たもんだから目にクマでもできてるってわけ？
What are you yelling at me before? What are you yelling at me for? It's not my fault you couldn't sleep. And even if that's why you've got bags under your eyes, it's no big deal. Just forget it.
何失礼なこと言ってるのよ。女ってのは生まれた時から自分の身だしなみを気にするものなの。もう今まで外見だけは完璧でいいよって繕ってきたのに、それも今日でおしまいってことかしらね。
Again, why are you yelling at me? I don't know what's going on here, Tosaka, but it's definitely not my fault. Take your frustrations out on someone or something else.
違いますよ、遠坂先輩。先輩は今日も綺麗です。みんなが遠坂先輩を見ているのは私たちと一緒だからです。先輩、今まで誰かと投稿したことなんてなかったから。何？その程度のことでこんな扱い受けるわけ？侮れないわね。10年も通ってれば学校なんてマスターしたつもりでいたけど、謎はまだ残ってたわけか。
Tosaka ponders this seriously. Hold on. What kind of person ignores someone telling them they're as beautiful as always? You really don't get it, do you? Of course people will notice you if you come to school with someone, especially if that person is a guy.
ですね。けど遠坂先輩、そういうの気にしない人なんです。だから今まで浮いた話一つなかったんですよ。
Huh? That's good to know. That means there's only been one victim who was taken in by your appearance and suffered the consequences. I whisper that part to Sakura as we walk a bit behind Tosaka, who still looks puzzled. Kinda wish you said that you whispered that. Just for my sake. We walk through the school gate, stairs following us the whole way. I only need to endure the stairs a little longer, since I only need to endure the stairs a little longer, since we will all separate once we get into the school building.
朝から頭痛いのがやってきちゃってまあ。
Tosaka mutters to herself as we head toward campus. Following Tosaka's gaze, I see a familiar face pushing his way through the crowd of students.
Sakura!
Sakura shivers at the sight of him. Shinji acts like he doesn't see us. Instead, he makes a beeline for Sakura and says,
どうして道場に来ないんだ？お前、僕に断りもなく休むなんて何様なわけ？
Shinji raises his hand. Instinctively, Yo, Shinji! Working hard first thing in the morning, huh? I grab his hand and greet him.
エミヤ？お前、そうか。またエミヤの家に行ってたのか、さくら。
はい。先輩のところにお手伝いに行っていました。けどそれは
後輩としての義務だって？まったく泥臭いなお前は。勝手に怪我したやつなんて構うことないだろ。いいからお前は僕の言う通りにしてればいいんだよ。
Shinji huffs as he lowers his hand. I have no reason to hold on to his hand if he's not going to hit Sakura, so I let it go.
しかしなんだね。そこまでうちの邪魔して楽しいわけエミヤ。さくらは弓道部の部員なんだからさ。 無理やり朝練をサボらせるような真似しないでくれないかな。
I don't have a response to that. Having Sakura come to my place to make breakfast does hold her up in the mornings.
そんなことありません。私は好きで先輩のお手伝いをしているだけです。兄さん、今のは言い過ぎなんじゃないですか？
言い過ぎだって？それはお前の方だよ、さくら。エミヤが一人住まいだからなんだって言うんだ。別に一人でいいって言うんだからさ、一人にしてやればいいんだよ。エミヤみたいなのは。
兄さん、やだ、今のはひどいよ。
まあいい。今日でエミヤの家に行くのはやめろよ、さくら。僕が来いって言ったのに部活に来なかったんだ。そのくらいの罰は受ける覚悟があったんだろ。
Sakura gasps and freezes. Shinji tries to grab Sakura and pull her away, but the instant he does...
おはよう、マトウ君。黙って聞いていたんだけど、なかなか面白い話だったわ、今の。
え？父さか。お前、なんでさくらといるんだよ。
別に意外でも何でもないでしょう。さくらさんはエミヤ君と知り合い、私はエミヤ君と知り合い。だから今朝は3人で一緒に登校してきたんだけど、気づかなかった？
エミヤと知り合い？
ええ、きっとこれからも一緒に学校に来て一緒に下校するぐらいの知り合いだから、さくらさんとも付き合っていこうかなって思ってるわ。
エミヤとだって。
Shinji glares at me. It might be in my imagination, but I feel murderous intent from him that goes way beyond just animosity. And while I haven't really been getting along with Shinji lately, I don't remember doing anything that would make him resent me anywhere near this much.
そんなバカな。冗談がきついな、遠坂は。君がエミヤなんかと付き合うわけないじゃないか。ああ、そうか。君、勘違いしてるんだろう。そりゃ確かに、ちょっと前までエミヤとは友達だったけど、今は違うんだ。もうエミヤと僕は無関係だから、あまりメリットはないんだぜ。
そうなの？よかった。それを聞いて安心したわ。あなたのことなんてちっとも興味がなかったから。
Whoa there. I feel bad for Shinji. If I were in his shoes, Tosaka's words would be traumatic enough. I probably wouldn't recover for a good while.
お前。
それとマトウ君、さっきの話だけど、弓道部の朝練は自主参加のはずよ。欠席の許可が必要だなんて話は聞いてないわ。そんな規則、私はもちろん綾子や藤村先生も聞いてないでしょうね。
うるさいな。兄貴が妹に何をしようが勝手だろう。いちいち人の家の事情に首を突っ込むな。
それは同感ね。だからあなたもエミヤ君の家のことをあれこれ言うのは筋違いじゃない？まったく、こんな朝から校庭で騒がしいわよ、マトウ君。
Shinji retreats a step, still glaring at Sakura and me in the process.
わかった。今朝の件は許してやる。けどさくら、次はないからな。今度何かあったら、その時は自分の立場ってやつをよく思い知らせてやる。
Shinji heads towards the school building after making his big pronouncement. He turned tail and run after Tosaka gave him such a dressing down.
ごめんなさい先輩。兄さんがその失礼なことを言ってしまって。
Sakura's apologizing not just to me, but to Tosaka as well.
朝からいい運動になったわ。頭のギアがスパッと上がったし、ようやく調子が出てきたもの。口喧嘩好きなのよね、私。 それに謝るのは私の方だし、ちょっとやりすぎだったわよね今の。あいつだって立場があるんだし、ほらみんなの前でああいうのってしちゃダメだって言うじゃない。マトウ君が落ち込んでたら後でフォローしてあげて。これに懲りずにまた突っかかってきてもいいって。
兄さんが懲りていなければまたお相手をしてあげてください先輩。
Relieved, Sakura smiles cheerfully. Tosaka seems suddenly bashful and looks away.
先輩もできれば怒らないであげてください。兄さん先輩しか友達いないから。
I know. It's probably impossible for me not to get mad, but I've known Shinji like that since forever. I can see us getting close again at some point, so I'll take baby steps with him.
よろしくお願いします先輩。
Sakura quickly bows. Yeah. The only thing I get really mad at Shinji about is the way he treats his sister like crud.
それじゃあ先輩、今日も一日頑張りましょうね。
Sakura heads to the first year floor. Tosaga and I climb the stairs to the second year floor.
はわ
And run right into the student council president.
なぜに遠坂と一緒にいるのか、エミヤシロ。
あら、おはよう竜道くん。朝からハウアとはご挨拶ね。
目覚めから嫌な予感がしたが、まさか案件さすとはな。ねえ、いいからこっちに来いエミヤ。遠坂の近くにいたら毒が移る、毒が。
Issei tugs on my arm, hard. Tosaka looks at Issei and me without a word, then walks toward Class 2A as if nothing happened.
行くがいい。誰も止めはしないからな。
Tosaka silently passes by. But then,
シロ、昼休みに屋上。
she whispers that to me so Issei won't hear. It's lunchtime. After seeing Tosaka and me in the morning, Issei hasn't been speaking to me. He's been treating me like a traitor. I guess I went too far. I feel just a bit of regret. Issei interrogated me about why I was with Tosaka this morning, and my response was, we got close over the weekend. That was not a great idea. I expected Issei's next set of questions to be about how and why we got close, but before I could explain further, Issei staggered away. Well, I guess that works to my advantage since I need to do things alone for a while. Having fewer people involved will make things easier. Anyway, the first thing I need to do is... save. That's the first thing I need to do. I believe in the anime, this was the correct answer. Oh, right. It was hectic this morning and I couldn't probably explain myself then, so I should go and talk to Sakura now. I head up to the 4th floor to the first year classrooms. I peek into her classroom from the hallway and Sakura notices me right away.
何かあったんですか先輩。
Sakura steps into the hallway and tilts her head in confusion. I thought she would be depressed after what happened with Shinji this morning, but she seems fine. Nothing really happened, but I just came over to ask you to forgive me for nothing really happened. I just came over to ask you to forgive me about what happened with Tosaka. I couldn't talk to you about it this morning, so I wanted to apologize before I went home.
遠坂先輩を許すって何をですか？
Well, about the thing where she's going to stay with me for a while. I should have consulted you first, Sakura. Instead, I decided on my own. I'm sorry. But there's a legitimate reason for Tosaka staying over, and it's nothing shameful. And you might not forgive me for it, but I just wanted to tell you that. I lower my head apologetically.
やめてください先輩。そんな風に先輩が謝ることなんてありません。確かに遠坂先輩が下宿することは驚きましたけど、藤村先生も許可したんだし、何の問題もないと思います。あの家は先輩のお家なんですから、先輩の好きにしていいんだし、私が意見していいことなんてありません。
You dummy. What are you talking about, Sakura? That house is mine, Fujine's, and yours. I shouldn't just decide things on my own.
先輩。
That's why I need to apologize. Rather than be mad at Tosaka, you should be mad at me because, well, I'm the one who invited Tosaka over without consulting with my family first. And if you don't want Tosaka to stay over, I'll call it off. I know it's not enough to earn your forgiveness, but I can't continue to do something you don't like. This isn't just me trying to smooth things over. I'm speaking from the heart. Teaming up with Tosaka doesn't mean she needs to live with me. There should be other ways to work effectively with her.
じゃあ許します。遠坂先輩の下宿も許可するし、先輩の勝手も許しちゃいます。それでいいですか、先輩。
Are you sure, Sakura?
はい。どんな事情があるのかも聞きません。私は先輩がそう言ってくれただけで十分です。
Sakura looks at me, smiling warmly. She's not pretending. Sakura is giving her honest approval of Tosaka staying with me. Thanks, Sakura. I'm real glad.
いえ、すごく嬉しいのはこっちの方ですから。あ、けど先輩、もしですよ。もし私が嫌だって言ったら、先輩はどうしたんですか？
Well, if you'd done that, I might have gone to her instead. Because I actually do need to be with Tosaka for a while.
先輩が出向くって、
Yeah, instead of Tosaka staying here, I probably would have to stay at Tosaka's place. That's why I wouldn't need to bother you or Fujine about our arrangements. That way, I wouldn't need to bother you or Fujine about our arrangements. The thought of staying at the home of a girl I admire, or rather admired, would be terrifying, but I would have no other choice. Well, I appreciate it. If that had happened, I think she would tease me even more than she does right now. That's a relief. I'm so glad Sakura forgave me. Hey, wait! Sakura? What's wrong? You look pale. I call out to her, asking if she's alright. Sakura seems to be lost in thought.
言わなくてよかった。
She sighs deeply for some reason. It's after school. The end of day bell rings and I prepare my bag to go home. Saber is waiting, so I should go straight home. There are a few students still scattered in the hallway. Some students going to the club activities, some students still lingering, killing time, and a student who's about 10 meters away, stomping toward me looking real mad. There are just so many kinds of students still around. I think there's something strange in that mix of students, so I quickly turn and head towards the stairs. Oh, right. I just remembered that I was told to do something this morning. I may have been told something, but at this point my only choice is to pretend I forgot. Actually, I don't see that working. I'll just say I didn't hear.
そこまでよ。人の顔見て逃げ出すなんていい度胸してるじゃない。
Dang, I got caught. Actually, there's nowhere for me to run if I go home, so I let myself get caught here to minimize the damage. Turn slowly. Yeah, she's absolutely livid. The way she looks now, you wouldn't even imagine she's the school's top honor student. Yo, what a coincidence, Tosaka. Want to go home together if you're leaving? We're heading the same way anyway.
帰るかじゃないわよバカシロ。あんた自分の立場分かってるの？せっかく忠告してあげようと思ったのに、どうして屋上に来なかったのよ。
She looks so threatening. At this point, she won't listen to any excuses I make, but she probably won't calm down if I don't explain myself. Sorry, I went to talk to Sakura at lunchtime, so I couldn't go to the rooftop. She's showing no sign of calming down, so I tell her the truth. And then, Tosaka looks at me blankly, like she's just seen a ghost.
さくらのところって、もしかして私がエミヤ邸に下宿する件で？
Yeah, remember how we left things up in the air with her this morning? So I went to her to ask for her approval of you staying over.
そう。まあ、そういうことなら仕方ないか。
Tosaka sheathes her sword just like that, and then, for some reason...
いいわ。昼間の件はチャラにしてあげる。さくらのこと余計な心配かけたわね。
She looks sullen as she makes her apology. Well, there's nothing for you to apologize for. So why did you call me up to the rooftop? It was important, right?
まあね。呼びつけたのはマスターとしての話があったからよ。学校に結界が張られているから注意しろって言いたかったの。
Wait, a bounded field? Here at school?
ええ。シローは気づいてないようだけど、厄介なものが仕掛けられてるのよ。サインはかなりの範囲に仕組まれていて、発動すれば学校の敷地をほぼ包み込むわ。種別は結界内にいる人間から血肉を奪うタイプ。まだ準備段階のようだけど、それでもいつもよりみんなに元気がないって気づかなかった？
Oh, now that she mentions it, I felt a little strange 2 days ago. But was that why? But that means there's a master at school?
そう。確実に敵が潜んでいるってわけ。わかったエミヤくん。まさか学校で仕掛けてくるとは思えないけど、いつ戦いになってもいいように気を配っておけって言いたかったの。
No wonder Tosaka was so mad. Here I was spending my entire day in an ignorant peace. Sorry, I should have met you during lunchtime.
そうね。セイバーにシロを任されたってこともあるし、つまんない理由だったらギアスの一つもかけてたところよ。けど今回は多めに見てあげる。結果論だけど今日一日何も起きなかったし。
So all's well that ends well. I feel better hearing her say that. Tosaka, do you know who set up the bounded field? Is it someone from this school?
いいえ、それはまだわからない。学校には私以外に魔術師らしき気配はないから部外者かもしれないけど、あなたみたいに素人がマスターになる場合もあるでしょ。だから断定はできないんだけど、まあ十中八九うちの人間の仕業でしょうね。学校に結界を張る以上、ここに紛れ込んでいても不審に思われない人間だろうから。
Someone who wouldn't seem suspicious if they came into the school. So to be either a student or a teacher, whoever it might be, it means Tosaka and I aren't the only masters here.
問題はそれだけじゃないわ。シロ、この結界はね、発動したら最後、結界内の人間を一人残らず妖怪して吸収する代物よ。魔力で自分自身を守っている私たちには効果はないだろうけど、魔力を持たない人間ならわけもわからないうちに衰弱死しかねない。一般人を巻き込むどころの話じゃないわ。この結界が起動したら学校中の人間は皆殺しにされるのよ。わかる？ こういうふざけた結界を準備させるやつがこの学校にいるマスターなの。
What? My vision blurs momentarily. I take a deep breath so I can make sure I fully comprehend what Tosaka's trying to say. But it stops there. I attempt to imagine the worst possible outcome, even if my imaginings may fall short, and I keep that image in mind, keep that image deep within my heart and accept the position I've been placed in. I get what you're trying to say. So Tosaka, can't we try to destroy this bounded field?
試したけど無理だった。結界の規定は全部探したんだけど、それを消去できないのよ。私にできるのは一時的に規定を弱めて結界の発動を先延ばしにするだけよ。
So as long as you're here, the bounded field can't fully be formed?
そう願いたいけど、それも都合のいい願いでしょうね。もう結界は張られていて、発動のための魔力は少しずつ溜まってきている。アーチャーの見立てだと、あと8日程度で準備が整うとか。そうなったらマスターかサーバンとか、どちらかがその気になれば、この学校は地獄になる。
Then before that happens,
この学校に潜んでいるマスターを倒すしかない。けど探すのは難しいでしょうね。この結界を張られた時点でそいつの勝ちみたいなものだもの。あとは黙ってても結界は発動するんだから、その時まで表には出てこない。だからチャンスがあるとしたら
when they come out, right?
ご名答。まあそういうわけだから今はおとなしくしてなさい。その時になったら嫌でも戦うことになるんだし。自分から探し回って敵に知られるのもバカらしいでしょ。
I get it. We can't leave someone who would make a bounded field like that on the loose. But since I don't know who they are, just making a move at random might cause more problems than it solves.
そういうこと。今日のうちにできる結界への対処は済ませたから、あとはまた明日よ。これ以上校舎に残っていてもやることないし、シローは先に帰っていて。
Wait, I'm fine with going home now, but what about you, Tosaka?
私のことはいいでしょ。シローはセイバーを待たせてるんだから、早く帰らないと怒られるわよ。
I forgot. Saber was against me going to school, and she only allowed me to do so under the condition that I come home before sunset.
それじゃあ後で。寄り道せずに帰りなさいよ。
Tosaka makes her way toward the back of the school. Maybe she has something to do at the gym? After watching her backside head toward the gym for a bit, I hurry out of school. The gate is still locked. Oh, right. It's been a while since I came home this early. I usually help out doing odd jobs or go to a part-time job, so it's rare for me to come straight home from school. I usually find the gate unlocked and Sakura preparing dinner inside. I've gotten so used to that after a year, I've forgotten how important coming home early can be. Even the simple act of opening a locked gate makes me realize how thankful I should be for Sakura coming here. I'm home! I step into the hallway as I call out. The moment I enter the living room, I see the blonde girl.
帰ったのですね、マスター。
For a split second, as I see Saber, I feel like I've been hurled into a dream or some sort of fantasy.
シロ、今帰ってきたのではないのですか？
She calls my name in a quiet voice. I finally come back to reality. Oh, Saber? Sorry, you surprised me, popping up so suddenly like that. Just for an instant, I mistook her for a normal girl rather than Saber.
私はマスターの指示に従ってここに待機していたのですが、間違っていましたか？
Oh no, I just got confused. Don't worry about it. But how are you feeling, Saber? You said you were going to sleep a lot, so does that mean now you're...
起きていても支障はありません。 いえ、可能な限り戦闘時以外は眠っていた方がいいのですが、それでは勘が鈍りますから。定期的に目覚めて体を動かしていなければ、いざという時に動きが鈍ります。
Got it. You have a point there. You get a headache if you sleep all day, and I'm sure you're not sleeping because you're sleepy.
そうですね。眠りを必要とする疲れはありません。ですがシロ、あなたは眠りすぎると頭を痛くするのですか？
Don't you? People don't typically do well if they sleep a good chunk of the day. In my case, I'll get woken up by a headache, so I can't sleep for more than half a day.
不思議な話ですね。私はそのようなことはありませんでした。今も昔も眠ろうと思えばいくらでも眠れますし。
That doesn't sound particularly efficient, Saber. Sleeping all day would be a waste. Wouldn't it be more fun to wake up and play if you weren't sleepy?
そうですね。確かにその方が無駄はありません。
Right? You may have been forced to do this because you're with me, but once your contract with me ends, you should go back to your normal lifestyle and cycle. It may not be my place to say, but if this becomes a habit and you sleep all day, people might start thinking you're lazy.
それはすでに手遅れかもしれません。私は皆にそう思われていたかもしれない。
She thinks about it and furrows her brow. I thought this was just idle chit-chat, but Saber doesn't really seem to get jokes. We move to the living room. Saber looks like she wants to know what happened today, so I decide to tell her about the bounded field at school Tosaka warned me about.
そうですか。学校に集まる人間を生贄にするつもりなのですね。そのマスターは。
To be blunt, probably, yeah. Tosaka said it needs more time, though.
同感です。それほど大規模な結界の完成には時間がかかる。学校の校舎というものは封鎖しやすい建物ですから、おそらく神殿に見立てた祭壇なのでしょう。それだけの規模な結界を完璧に起動させるには早くて10日は必要です。
10 days. I felt something strange 2 days ago on Saturdays, so that means we still have about 8 more days. That lines up with Tosaka's estimate.
はい。その結界が生贄を集めるものであれ、守りを固めるものであれ、完成させては厄介です。それまでに結界を張ったマスターを見つけ出せれば良いのですが。
Yeah, Tosaka said it would be challenging, but it should be easy to identify someone if they're lurking in the school. We need to do everything we can to find them and make them stop the bounded field. The chances of them being someone from the school are pretty high, considering where... The chances of them being someone from school are pretty high, considering where they set up their bounded field. A student or teacher? Why not both? Starting tomorrow, I'll search the school as thoroughly as I can during lunch and try to find anyone suspicious. Other than that, we'll need to figure out what kind of servant they have with them. Then again, we'll only learn that once we found them. Then the only other thing I can do right now is to think about the servants I've encountered already. Saber's awake, so now's my chance to ask her about them. Okay then. We already know who Berserker is. Nobody knows who Archer is yet. No one within the context of the story knows who Archer is right now. And Saber knows who Lancer is, but she never told me, so ask about Lancer. That guy. I should ask about the very first servant I encountered. Lancer. Saber fought against him, and it looks like she figured out who he was. Hey, Saber, do you know who that guy Lancer is?
は、ランサーのことですか。
Yeah, when you fought him off, you said something about Ireland. So I thought maybe you figured out his identity.
ああ、そういうことですか。驚きました。シローが他のサーバントの正体を知りたがるとは思っていなかったもので。
I was told that it can give you an advantage, but why do you look so pleased, Saber?
シローが戦う気になっているからです。正体を知った相手ならば対策が立てられる。まず弱点が分かった相手から仕留めるのは戦いの常道ですから。
I don't intend to seek out someone to fight if they haven't done anything wrong, but it'll only derail the conversation if I bring that up now. So about Lancer's identity. From your tone, it seems like you know, Saber.
はい。あの構想と全身に帯びたルーンの守り、加えて戦いではなく生き延びることに特化した能力から言って間違い。彼の新名は空風林、魔装ゲイボルクを操るアイルランドの大英雄です。
Kuhulane. I've never heard that name. Then again, I don't know much about Irish mythology, or how to say it properly. But then again, it is Gaelic. It probably didn't make sense in their time. So is this Kuhulane guy strong?
この国では知名度が低いですから存在が劣化していますが、それでも十分すぎる能力です。こと敏捷性に関してならば他の追随を許さないでしょうし、彼の宝具はこの戦いに最も適した武器だと思います。
His noble phantasm? Oh, you mean his spear. Now that I think of it, that thing was moving really weirdly. Is that what the gay bolg is all about?
おそらくはゲイボルクの伝承は諸説あります。いわく足で投擲する呪いの槍だとか、貫いた瞬間に内部から線のトゲを生やして相手を絶命させる魔装だとか。
Some say it does both, like in overly sarcastic productions. Go check it out. Huh? That's two different legends, isn't it? So how can you call it a legendary weapon?
ですから続きがあるのです。ゲイボルクの能力は様々な形で伝えられていますが、その全てに心臓をうがつという一節が残っている。それは武器としての能力ではなく、あくまで持ち主の技量だと思っていましたが、間違いだったようですね。魔装の正体、ランサーのゲイボルクの能力は文字通り心臓をうがつものです。
Oh. The moment she brings this up, I vividly recall the scene. That night, the spear thrust at Saber's feet had suddenly changed trajectory, heading straight for her heart instead. That means a spear is...
ええ。使えば必ず敵の心臓をうがつ魔装なのでしょう。空間をねじ曲げているのか、因果率を変えているのか。ともあれ、槍自体の呪いとランサー自身の技量でしょうね。こと1対1の戦闘においてこれほど効率的な武器もありません。何しろ全く無駄がない。
Practical? What's that supposed to mean?
わかりませんか。ランサーの槍は城を破壊することはできませんが、人間一人を殺すだけなら十分です。宝具というものはその規模によって消費する魔力が変わります。 A ランクの宝具を持つ者はその使用に大量の魔力を消費する。一度使ってしまえば失った分の魔力補充には時間がかかるのです。ですが人を一人、いえサーバントを倒すのにそれほど強大な破壊力などいりません。ランサーのように一撃で仕留められるのであればそれ以上の戦果はないでしょう。
So what you're trying to say is that it would cost less to shoot a single arrow than a cannonball?
はい。ですがサーバントには弓矢など当たりません。結果としてサーバント同士の戦いは 大砲の撃ち合いになるのですが。
But Lancer's gay bulk, while it may only be like a single arrow, can potentially be fatal with just one strike, because it's not just a graze, but a fatal strike through the heart.
そういうことです。加えて使うための魔力量もそう多くない。あの程度の魔力商品なら7回使っても魔力の補充は必要ないでしょう。ですから彼の魔装はこの戦いに適しているのです。通常のサーバントは数回戦闘すれば休まざるを得ません。ですがランサーならば6人を続けて相手にすることもできる。まあ1対1であることが条件になってきますが。
In other words, he may not be a flashy server, but he can manage a solid win. But he was using a lot of unnecessary and impractical moves. He was toying with me when he fought me.
ですね。ランサー自身、裏っ気のある人物のようです。非常な人物ではありましたが、どこか憎めない一面がありました。
And people say Nasu doesn't love Kuhule. I might agree, but I still shouldn't let my guard down. That guy stabbed me in the chest as casually as if he were just cutting grass. Neither Berserker nor Lancer are the type to hesitate about using the weapons they wield. So about the other
待って
servants.
ください、シロ。屋敷の門を人がくぐりました。
What? You can sense something like that? Oh crud, it's already so late. This is bad. Sakura must be back. The doorbell rings, and from the front entrance,
お邪魔します。
I hear Sakura's voice. Saber, sorry, but
分かっています。部屋に戻っていますから、私のことは気にせずに。
Saber goes back to her room, almost as if switching with Saber.
ただいま。感心感心。ちゃんと先に帰ってたわね。
Tosaka walks in, laden with shopping bags.
お邪魔します先輩。珍しいですね。先輩がこんな早くから帰ってきてくれるのって。
Sakura walks in, smiling happily.
よし、準備は完璧っと。それじゃあ始めるとしましょうか。
Tosaka psychs herself up and heads to the kitchen.
先輩、お夕飯の支度なんですけど。
You don't have to worry about it since it's Tosaka's turn today. You prepare breakfast for us, so leave dinner to us. She and I will handle dinner while Tosaka's staying here.
はい。先輩がそう言うのならそうします。
Sakura quietly sits down. I hear a fiery, boisterous sound coming from the kitchen, but I see nothing of Tosaka. I guess I can trust her. I should stay in my room until dinner's ready, considering Saber's waiting there. I'm going to rest in my room. If Fujine comes, tell her she should prepare the bath herself for a change.
はい。どうぞごゆっくり先輩。ご飯の支度ができたら呼びに行きますね。
Yeah. Oh, by the way, don't forget to knock when you come into my room. It's a little before 6 o'clock. I figured dinner will be ready around 7 o'clock. I return to my room and find Saber sleeping in the room next door. Bummer. I thought I could talk to her a little more. I click my tongue with disappointment and sit down. Wait a minute. What am I thinking? There's nothing else I could talk to her about apart from the Holy Grail War. Besides, I don't know how to act around Saber. Oh well, if she's asleep, I'll just let her rest. I mutter to myself and stare at the hands of the clock. Last night, Saber, Tosaka, and I ate dinner. But today, Sakura and Fujine are in the mix as well, making it 5 people. Oh, actually, Saber can't join. As long as Fujine and Sakura are around, I can't have Saber come out of her room. I wonder if Saber ate breakfast. Last night, Saber was nodding while eating her dinner. Based on her behavior, it's not like she doesn't need food. I didn't prepare lunch for her, so she must be hungry. Once Fujine and Sakura go home, I should warm up some dinner for Saber. She'll have to eat alone, but there's nothing we can do about that. It's just... imagining Saber eating by herself is making me mad.
Shirou, 起きてる?
Tosaka knocks on my door and peeks her head in. Tosaka? What's going on?
何って夕食なんだけど。できたから来て。
It's already that time? I pick myself up, glance towards Saber's room, and head into the hallway.
来た来た、ほら見てよこの料理。なんと遠坂さんは長らく不在だった中華料理ができる人だったのだ。
Fujine dances excitedly around the table, which is laid out with dinner. Now that she mentions it, it does all look to be Chinese dishes today. 4 big plates decorate the table. Crab meat with egg omelet, shredded beef with green peppers, a vegetable stir-fry with some fancy meat I've never seen before, and for some reason, a plate full of steamed sushi. A plate full of steamed shumai. Salad has been served on individual plates for everyone, and the setup seems to have been well thought out. It's pretty extravagant. Fujine loves it. This is a surprise. I thought you would make something Western.
本当は洋風を考えてたそうですよ。けど中華料理は誰も作らないって言ったら、なら私が作るって。
Why would she set out to do something no one else does? Hey, Sakura, you and Tosaka came home at the same time. Did you two go shopping together or something?
はい、遠坂先輩、弓道部が終わるまで待っててくれたんです。それで帰り道がてら2人で買い出しに行ってました。
I had no idea. Looks like you two are closer than I thought.
そうですね。遠坂先輩とは学校でもよく話してましたから、私のどこが気に入られたかわからないんですけど、入学した頃から親切にしてもらってます。
Huh. So Tosaka really is a nice upperclassman.
おしゃべりはいいから早く食べよう。私もうお腹ペコペコだよ。
Fujine sits down excitedly.
だってさ、2人も早く座ったら。中華物って冷めると犯罪的にまずいんだから。
Tosaka sits down after she tells us to do the same. I sit down without a word. Everyone bows and thanks Tosaka for cooking, then starts eating. Whoa! I hate to admit it, but it's good. I've never cooked Chinese food because I've always thought it all tastes the same. But Tosaka's dishes make me realize that it had all just been bias on my part, and I find myself regretting that.
うわすごいすごい。こんなにご飯を美味しくさせる料理は久しぶりだよ。遠坂さんに100点をあげましょう。
ありがとうございます。先生のように素直に感想を言ってもらえると私も嬉しいです。
はい、私も中華を見直しました。辛いのって苦手なんですけど、すごく美味しいです。
Sakura looks pleased, seeming to enjoy the food too. After seeing everyone's happy face, Tosaka... She turns to face me, her face triumphant. What? You look like you have something to say.
別にみんなに気に入ってもらえてよかったなってまあ若干1名素直じゃないのがいるけど、それはそれで楽しいからよしとしましょう。得意分野で負けちゃった気持ちはわかるし。
I get it. You made me cook dinner last night because you wanted to assess my cooking.
はい、今日の教訓は手の内は常に隠しておくでした。
Tosaka returns to her food, looking exceedingly pleased with herself. dinner is a bit livelier than I expected. Sakura and Tosaka are acting like a good upper and underclassmen, and Fujine is now completely on Tosaka's side. Well, I have no complaints about getting to enjoy a good meal. There are no complaints, but I can't feel unreservedly good about sharing a meal with everyone here. I stand up.
何しろトイレ
No, I just forgot something. I'm going to bring them out now, so wait. The moment I step out of the living room, I lock eyes with Tosaka, who is looking at me silently. I just didn't think it was right. That's why. I didn't like the fact that I was making her sit alone, even though she's living with us. So, without really considering the consequences of my actions, I take her hand.
シロ、突然何をするのです
Just come with me. I'll introduce you to everyone.
正気ですか待ってください。それは
I'm bringing you out because I am thinking straight. Come on, let's go. We could deal with whatever happens after.
シロ
I'm still dragging her along by the time we reach the living room. Sorry, Tosaka. Can you add one more plate for her? Tosaka doesn't object, but Fujine and Sakura are looking at Saber in confused astonishment. I know it's a little late, but I want to introduce her to you all. Her name is Saber, and I'm going to be taking care of her for a while. As you can see, she's a foreigner and not used to living in Japan, so please help her with that. It was at this moment he knew that he just stepped in something, but still did the right thing. The two don't react. It's understandable, but I can't really find it in me to care right now. Come on, sit over here, Saber. It's better when you eat with everyone.
それは確かに効率的だとは思いますが、私は
There's no need to be bashful. You're going to be living with us from now on too. If we're going to live together, we should eat together too.
はい。シロがそう言うのでしたら、私は従うだけですが。
そんなのダメ
My ears! My ears are ringing!
一体どうしちゃったのよ、シロってば。遠坂さんだけじゃなく、こんな子まで連れ込んじゃって、いつからここは旅館みたいになっちゃったのよ。
What? It's fine. This place is as big as a hotel anyway, so it's no big deal to give up a room or two. If you're okay with Tosaka staying here, then Saber should be fine too.
いいわけないでしょ。遠坂さんは認めるけど、そんな得体の知れない子なんて知らないもん。一体どこの子なのよ、その子は。
She's a distant relative. I don't really know all the details about what happened to her, but she came here looking for help from my old man.
そんな作り話信じられない。だいたいね、仮にそうだとしても、どうしてエミヤの家に来たのよ。キリツグさんに外国の知り合いなんているはずな。
She can't say that with any confidence since she knows it. My old man traveled constantly, so he probably had more friends from other countries than in Japan.
ないとは言い切れないけど、それにしたっておかしいわ。あなた、何のためにここに来たのよ。
Well, that...
シロは黙ってなさい。セイバーさん、私はあなたに聞いてるんだけど。
Saber is silent. I don't blame her. Saber doesn't really have a backstory, and she's not cunning enough to go along with my lies.
さあ、私はキリツグの言葉に従っただけですから。
I guess she does.
キリツグさんがシロを頼むって？はい。あらゆる敵からシロを守るようにと。
Ever so quietly, Saber says it with such straightforwardness and clarity. there is no room for anyone to protest. And even if it really was really a lie, it will become the absolute truth in Saber's mind. Even Fujine can't argue with her. But she stands up with a frown and glares right at Saber.
いいわ。そこまで言うんなら腕前を見せてもらうんだから。
Fujine drops this on us all out of Fujine drops this on us all out of nowhere. And with the sound of whooshing wind, Fujine takes us outside. And then she takes the bamboo sword, a shinai hanging on the wall, and continues glaring at Saber. Okay. What the heck is Fujine thinking?
あなた、シロを守るって言ったわね。なら少しは覚えがあるんでしょ。私に剣を持てというのですか。そうよ。あなたが私より強かったら許してあげます。けど弱かったら家に帰ってもらうからね。構いませんが、それはどういった理屈でしょうか。シロを守るのは私だもん。シロが一人前になるまで私がずっとそばにいるんだから。
Saber doesn't seem to fully comprehend what Fujine's intentions are. Then again, none of us do.
だから私より弱いやつはいらないの。
あなたが私より強いって言うんなら私より頼りになるでしょ。それなら少しはシロを任せてもいいわよだ。
Fujine swings her shinai around with a pout.
わかりました。あなたを納得させればよいのですね。そうよ。けど私を納得させるのは大変なんだから。
No sooner had Fujine said that she practically leaps at us, rushing towards Saber, brandishing her shinai. Whoa, Fujine, this is ridiculous! She goes in for a surprise attack, even though she hasn't even given Saber a shinai yet. This tiger has no business calling herself a teacher if she's going to pull something like that. Saber stands there in a daze, taken aback by Fujine's surprise attack. Fujine swings for the body.
あれ
Fujine tilts her head in confusion. Well, yeah, we're all dumbfounded, and we were just watching, so it must be even stranger. Like the mystery of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon for Fujine, since she's the one who's experienced it firsthand. Saber's still standing. The only difference is that she's now holding the shinai Fujine had in her hand at a heartbeat earlier.
本当
I don't know if this is for real, but it definitely happened. Saber isn't even holding the shinai she took in a ready position. Fujine is frozen in her tracks right in front of Saber. Fujine is a kendo expert whose skill is supposedly unmatched. The experience probably made clear to her that Saber is on a completely different level.
構えろというのでしたら構えますが、そこまでしなければわからない腕ではないでしょう。
Fujine staggers back and drops to her knees.
勝負はつきました。認めてもらえましたか。
Fujine slumps her shoulders and droops her head low. Just when I think she's about to retreat quietly, Fujine starts to cry so loud it starts to hurt all our ears. In the end, it took 2 hours to calm Fujine down. Fujine gestured to Saber, saying, "We need to talk," and went into my old man's room. They were in there for 2 hours. She finally came out, looking unsatisfied, and mumbled, "I guess I've got no choice but to acknowledge her." She had only nodded in resignation. Sakura, though, was silent the whole time. It was getting late, so Fujine wound up taking Sakura home, but Sakura didn't say a word. She just bowed and went home.
それじゃあ私も別棟に戻るわね。
That's all Rin said. Come to think of it, Tosaka's been quiet all this time, too. Sorry about that. I bet you're thinking I did something stupid again.
別に。ただあなたのしていることは心の贅肉よ。そんな余分なことばっかりしてたらいつか身動きが取れなくなるわ。
She waves goodnight and heads off to the outbuilding. I'm exhausted. I should probably sleep early today.
待ってくださいシロ。私もあなたに聞くべきことがある。
Sure, what is it?
なぜ私を皆に紹介したのですか？私もリンの言う通り、シロの行為は不必要だと思います。
No real rhyme or reason. I just didn't like how things were going, so I introduced you to everyone.
シロ、それは答えになっていません。何が嫌だったのか言ってもらわなければ。
Saber draws closer to me. Was what happened tonight really so strange to her? The heck do I know? I was just eating and I didn't like knowing that you were all alone. If anything, I just thought we'd have less secrets to worry about once Fujine and Sakura knew about you.
それはあまり意味のあることではありません。むしろ彼女たちに私の存在を知らせるのはマイナスです。この屋敷なら私の存在は隠し通せるのですから、私は待機していた方が良かった。
Better? In what way? Is she saying she's better off being ostracized when the rest of us are all eating? That's not true. You may be fine with it, but I didn't like it. It's not about logic or sense. I look away from Saber. I'm going to go to the shed, so go ahead to your room. She doesn't answer. I turn my back on Saber, who seems unconvinced by what I said, and make my way to the shed. I step outside. The tranquil yard is lit by pale moonlight. The winter sky is clear enough to see the stars above me. I sigh, hardly realizing I'm doing it. Tosaka's right. I'm contradicting myself. I'm heading to the shed to avoid Saber's room. But I don't want to leave Saber alone. I'm having a hard time interacting with Saber as a member of the opposite sex, but I can't ignore her on a human level. It's no wonder Tosaka gets disgusted with me and my contradictions. Crud. I thought I was only inexperienced with magecraft, but I'm also just generally immature too. I absent-mindedly look up at the night sky. The night drags on. My inexperience is all the more reason I can't skip out on my training. All I can do is to keep on believing that if I work hard enough, I might someday attain something. All right, and I think we'll call it there for tonight. So, hope you enjoy the streams and have a good night.